welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah. So today I have a very exciting video because yesterday I received my Tati Beauty Blendiful. So I ended up buying this right at the launch because her video was just so convincing. I actually had another video I had already filmed and I was working on editing to put up this Tuesday, but when this came I was like, nope, gotta do this. Priorities. I'll be honest, when she first started talking about this in her video, I was like, you know, I was hoping for some kind of makeup, just not really impressed. And by the end of the video, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it. I don't know if I'm an easy sell or she's a great saleswoman or it's a great product or all three, but I bought them. So before taxes and shipping, this cost $18, which if you are someone that buys Real Technique sponges or in that price range, it is expensive. However, when you compare it to the price of an actual beauty blender, it's a really good deal because you also get two. So we have the full size puff and then we also have the little cute mini Blendiful. They feel really soft. I've never used a material like this to apply my makeup, so now she said she was going to post a video showing more in depth how to use this for a full face of makeup. Since she hasn't done that yet, I'm just going to be going based off of what she showed in her launch video. So I'm going to try to use this for my whole base today. If you are excited for this video and you like Tati Beauty, give this video a like or a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more product reviews like this. Okay, so in her video, she said that this works really well with blurring primers. So for today, I'm going to start off with my Thank Me Later face primer. This is a long-lasting and pore minimizing primer. It is very bendy, so you can get a nice fine tip to get into those areas. I'm going to use the edge. Side note, I love products that have the little strap for you to put your fingers. It just makes it feel so much more comfy. I actually don't know if I was supposed to put it directly on the puff or my face, so let's try also putting it on my face. I have quite a bit of redness to cover up today, so hopefully this does wonders with my foundation. Okay, so it applied it well. I don't really know if I see much of a difference from how I apply it with my fingers, but maybe it created a better base for my foundation. I'm going to be using products that I know work well together, so that way I give this the best possible chance of working. So I'm going to be using my favorite foundation, the CYO Life Proof. Now the foundation she used was a spray foundation and she sprayed it right on her face. So I'm going to apply this with my fingers and then use the puff to blend it out. Use the tip of it. It's very soft. It feels so nice on the skin. I'm looking for a little bit more coverage today, so I'm going to go in with a second layer. Okay, that blended out beautifully. It looks and feels very smooth. I feel like I'm getting a little bit less coverage than I do with a brush, but what I could do is always apply my foundation with a brush and then go over this to smooth it out. It is really good for getting in this area behind your nose because it's such a small area and it's hard to get to it with a sponge. I find myself spending a lot of time trying to pat out the excess foundation that gets trapped in there, but since this has such small fibers, it does do a good job of just blending them together, getting in there. My foundation looks kind of weird on my nose right now. I don't know if that's just my skin today or if it is the puff. Next, I'm going to go in with concealer. I'm going to start off with my Flower Beauty concealer in, I think it's the lightest shade, Fair. This is their Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer. It is their lightest shade, but it is still pretty dang dark on me. I'm going to use the same area I used for foundation, but try and do it more on the edge so I can get closer in under my eye. Ooh, that's giving some really good coverage. The sponge I use typically takes away a lot of the coverage of this concealer, but that kept it all there. Ooh, that looks really nice. Blended out and even. I'm gonna go in with my second concealer. This is the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover in Light Ivory. I'm really impressed by how it blends out concealer, and you can tell it provided pretty decent amount of coverage. I like when a blending product doesn't take away from the coverage. A lot of times that happens with a sponge. I love how easily this fits like right into the tear duct. Okay, I think that looks really, really beautiful underneath my eyes. I feel like it kind of minimized the creasing I usually get. I just have lines underneath my eyes, and I've been trying to accept that it's just gonna crease, but it's not looking too bad right now. I feel like my under eyes are looking good compared to what we were working with. I'm also gonna go in back with my Flower Beauty concealer and do some spot concealing in the areas that I have some trouble spots. I'm not going anywhere today, so I'm doing all of this makeup just to stay in my house. It's actually one of those few days that I'm able to film during the day, not after work when it's already dark. So I hope the lighting is looking better than usual. It also gives me time to edit this video to get it up in 3 days. I am a slow editor. Yeah, that provided some great coverage. It didn't take away from the foundation coverage. It didn't pick that up. It covered it and looks really nice. I'm impressed. Usually a sponge doesn't provide that good of coverage because it's kind of still soaking up some of the product. Since this is a dewy foundation, I'm going to powder my entire face. I'm not going to bake because on a regular day, I'm using powder just to set my face. I don't want to try and do a whole bake before I have to go to work. I'm going to be using my Coty Airspun translucent powder. I'm going to go in on a different spot of the sponge, or puff, Blendiful. What do I call this thing? Ooh, we need some brows soon. Pat that underneath the eyes. I'll go in with a lighter powder underneath my eyes after this. Okay, that legit looks beautiful. It looks so soft and it doesn't look cakey on my skin. Trust me when I say it doesn't usually look this good when I apply it with a brush. It just looks so soft and subtle and natural. Okay, big fan of that. I'm going to try it with another powder. This is the Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder. I'm going to put a little bit of that underneath the eyes. Just give it a little bit more brightness. Okay, it's looking a little bit more cakey under my eyes, but that's probably my fault. I think I went in a little too hard with the Coty before using this powder. It still looks very soft though. You know, with a lot of powders, you get that, like you can almost see the powder just sitting on your skin, but this blended it into the skin really well. All right, I'm looking quite ghostly, so we need something to liven up my face. I'm going to be using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in shade Bronzer. I'm gonna try applying it using this long edge right here. Okay, I think that looks beautiful. It blended it out really seamlessly. Okay, so the tagline on the back of the packaging is no harsh lines, and that is exactly what this does. It takes something like bronzer, and when you apply it, it just makes it blend into your skin, blend into the other products. Obviously, you can achieve that with other tools, but this just really makes it easy. Can we also talk about how amazing this would be to take on vacation or traveling? I usually have to pack a bunch of face brushes for, you know, liquid foundation, powder foundation, bronzer, blush, highlight. You can use this for everything. I would be saving so much space, so much weight. If I can just use this for everything, that would be incredible. I'm not trying to sound like a sales ad video, but I just really love when I can find a product that has such great portability, because I do a decent amount of traveling, so I'm often having to repack all my makeup. Okay, for blush, I'm going to use my Ulta Beauty Flushed Blush in Pink Prosecco. Okay, that really doesn't take away from any of the pigment. It looks very nice. I think it kept a little bit more of the sparkle that kind of gets brushed away when I use a traditional blush brush. Tati said that this works for a whole different range of products like gels, creams, liquids. So I'm going to be testing it out with the ColourPop Super Shock Highlighter in Flexitarian. These are kind of cream, kind of powder, so I think it would be a good product to really test the ability of this out. Okay, that really really blended it out beautifully, and again, like I feel like it just melted the product into my skin. I do think this highlighter typically looks brighter. I usually, if I want a bright highlight, I apply it with a brush, and if I want more of a natural highlight, I will apply it with a beauty sponge. So this is giving kind of the same brightness that I would with a sponge. Just for the heck of it, I'm also going to try this out with a pressed highlight. This is Star Island from Ofra. So I really want to give it a good shot, because maybe it's just the formula of the ColourPop. Ooh, wow, yeah, look at that. Maybe just the formula of the ColourPop highlighter, since it is kind of a weird texture, it doesn't work as well. But with my powder highlights, I do really like how this applied it. I feel like that went by really quickly. I didn't realize I'm already done with my base makeup. So I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup and just go into a little bit more of my last thoughts on these. Okay, I just finished up the rest of my makeup. Clearly I went a little bit overboard. I was feeling very purpley today.
Morning, Sarah. It's a nice purple dress. Very purpley.
At first I was thinking, well, I'm not going anywhere today, so maybe I should just do a casual, natural look. And then I picked up my blood sugar palette, and here we are. But in doing my eyeshadow, I found another way to use this. I ended up using the smaller one. I had blended past where I wanted to on the outsides of my eyes, so I used just the edge of this and cleaned it up a little bit and kind of blended it. Since this was so small, I could really get in there and clean up what I wanted to, but without creating such a stark line. It really still kind of blended the eyeshadow out, so it still looked somewhat diffused. Okay, so some final thoughts. I think this did a beautiful job of blending out my foundation. I'd really like to test it out with one of my higher coverage foundations to see if it takes away any of the coverage, or if it was just the particular foundation I was using today. I didn't really notice a difference in how my primer looked applied with this, but it still looked good. I love the way this made my powder look when I applied it. It really pressed it into the skin, provided some extra coverage, and looked just smooth and flawless. Doesn't look cakey or powdery or pilly. I really like the way it applied my bronzer. I feel like it looks well blended out today, and almost like she was saying, where it kind of just looks like your skin. I like how it applied my blush, but I don't know if it looks that much different from a brush. I really like the way this blended out my pressed highlighter. I'm not a huge fan of how it worked with the ColourPop highlighter, just since it took away some of that light and brightness that usually occurs. However, this would work with the majority of my highlighters, so even though it may not have made my highlight and blush look extremely life-changing and completely different from a brush, I love that you can do everything with one thing. Instead of having all of these for foundation, powder, bronzer, blush, highlight, I can use just this. It's lighter, it's smaller, it would fit so easily into any bag. So I adore the portability of this product. Now, I've talked about everything I like and dislike about the Blendiful, but do I think it is worth the $18 plus tax and shipping? Absolutely. For something so versatile that you can use for all of your base products, I think that's an amazing price, because if you were to pay that much to try and get a brush for each step, it would most likely cost more, and it's very soft on the face, so you don't have to worry about pulling or being too harsh on your skin. And I can say I would definitely recommend this product if you are willing and able to spend the money. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I had a good time filming it. If you want, you can give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. Thank you for your support, and I will hopefully see you in my next video.